I've been thinking about creating a new account for a while now, so when I saw that the upcoming double XP had been announced, that I'd be around to play a lot during that period, I saw it as the perfect time to start. I don't really have a specific end goal at this point for the account, but I've just had the itch to work my way through some low level content again and just make some quick progress. And I will say now that I'm going to be trading over GP and items from my main to help fund it, so it's not going to be something particularly useful to follow if you're just starting out and want some pathing ideas whilst being self-sufficient, but that's something that I might consider doing in the future. But for now, I've made enough GP on my other accounts that I think I deserve to spend it on this, and I'm not going to be going crazy doing super expensive methods or anything. So if you have made some decent money yourselves on your main account and you're tempted and have been considering making an alt, then maybe this could be use to you and give you some ideas of how to progress. Or maybe you will just learn from my mistakes and be able to tell me what I should have done differently. And lastly, I will be using my daily keys as well as any that I earn from just playing the game, like completing quests or daily challenges or random skilling, but I won't be buying any extra. So in the background I've just had footage of the account creation, and the very first thing I did was just run down to the bank in Tavily and I grabbed some items from one of my other accounts. This was just some teleports for getting around and some GP and some supplies for doing early prayer to get myself protection prayers, and then also some logs for fire making, because I decided to do fire making quite early just so I could access Torstal sticks for a bit of increased XP for everything that I was going to be doing over double XP. Another thing is I made this account through the refer a friend scheme, so that's what the scroll is in my invent, and it just gives you, I think, 10% extra XP for a week once it's activated. But that actually stacks with double XP as well, so I just kept hold of it for a little bit until I got into the swing of skilling on double XP, really, because then once I was going to be doing Herblore for hours and hours, then that's kind of the best time to use it. Not so much at the beginning when I was going to be running around a little bit. After this, I took the nearby boat to the dungeoneering area to grab the Ring of Kinship, and then I traded again because I realised I'd forgot to give myself some Viswax, and that's super helpful from the off because as it allows you to have the quick teleports of the lodestones once you've unlocked those, and it will save a lot of time. I spoke to this person to get the Wicked Hood. Again, that's another useful teleport, especially for some of the early game quests you'll be doing. And then I just started working through the beginner achievement path. I was doing this mostly because after reaching a certain point, which is a task called To Lumbridge, you are rewarded with the Dwarven Army Axe, and this increases your XP when cooking, and that was a skill I'd planned on training during double XP as well, so just any easy to achieve extra boosts would be handy to have, I thought. And speaking of XP buffs, the next thing I did was joined a clan and I grabbed the Vex for useful teleport, and then I attuned to the avatar for the 3% XP buff. And then from the clan camp, which is just south of Falador, I ran back up through and into Tavily, and on my way activated those 2 lodestones. So using the bones and the burial powder that I traded over, I quickly unlocked all of the protection prayers for help just when I was doing some quests and whatever else. This was the first time that I'd ever used a burial powder because it was only released earlier this year, and I haven't done any prayer since then on any account. But it's a super nice update, like good quality of life thing, as it gives you the effect of burying bones on an altar from anywhere. And using these bones, I ended on around 50 prayer, and it literally just took a minute or 2. Once this was done, I thought I should go start Anachronia for the future content. So I teleport to Lumbridge and run up from there, and so obviously it's just east of Varrock where you want to go at the dig site. And in hindsight, I should have done the archaeology tutorial here because then it would get you the journal and give you access to the teleport, but it's something that I didn't do, so I'll need to come back to it later if I remember. Once I'd finished the Anachronia tutorial and was able to assign workers, I lobbied for 20 minutes to wait until I had the materials to build the lodestone. This is the point where I started doing some quests, because there's some quests with literally no requirements which give pretty good XP, especially when your skills are all around level 1, and it just saves you a little bit of time having to do some super low level training. So I traded myself over some items for those, as well as a Ring of Fortune, because that gives you a teleport to the Grand Exchange. And then in the marketplace I grabbed Silverhawks as well. The first quest I did was Death Plateau whilst I was here, and the XP lamp that you get at the end, I put that on agility because I just wanted to get some levels just to make the Silverhawk feathers go a bit further. I went back to doing more of the beginner path achievements, which have you doing a bit of skilling and combat before finally a mini Slayer task to finish up. And then it was at this point that I could complete the to Lumbridge path, and that unlocked the Dwarven Army Axe. After that I remembered that I hadn't changed my Anachronia workers once the lodestone was unlocked, so I quickly sorted that before continuing with some more quests, which were Goblin Diplomacy, Dwarf Cannon and Druidic Ritual. And then next up was Recruitment Drive, and I ended up getting stuck on this because I didn't have the combat stats to kill the NPC in the challenge, so I had to go level those up a bit. And I actually started killing some trolls and then realised that the Waterfall quest would get me some decent levels and had no requirements. I also started Tree Gnome Village whilst I was going through the maze, and then finishing up Waterfall got me high enough melee stats to go complete Recruitment Drive. And following this I quickly ticked off Gertrude's Cat and the Restless Ghost quest. And another benefit of doing all these quests is all the extra keys you get. I'm not going to be showing this every time I use them obviously, but you get 2 for each quest, and every promotion these days seems to be really good. I'm just lamping, I think, wood cutting and rune crafting. Those will be my plans, but obviously it's kind of not worth it when you're only level 1 in them. And my bonus XP I put into agility to start with, but then I'm going to start putting that into wood cutting or something slower as well. Whilst I was in Lumbridge I brought over another one of my accounts and placed a couple of divine locations that I had in the bank. I think I got from level 1 to 12 Hunter just from doing 2 of them. And don't forget to extend your daily limit with Viswax as well if you're going to do this. And then also, if you've done Hall of Memories on one of your accounts, you're able to create up to 3 a day. And, you know, doing that whilst double XP is active was just some crazy levels, which I'll show you a bit later. After the Divine Locations, I traded over some basic mage combat gear and then did the Blood Pact quest. This was for access to the catacombs because I want to do some low level training there, and it's a requirement for another quest in the future anyway. This was all recorded on the day before double XP, and the last thing I did was gear up for some mage training in the catacombs, as I wanted to boost those levels up a bit as the first thing in double XP to put me in a better position to do some quests. So I'm going to leave this video here, and then the next one I'll start with the beginning of double XP. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy it and learn something, or give me some tips on how to improve.